Hello everyone and welcome to our segment Expert Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Salil Agarwal. Salil is a passionate training and development professional. He was one of the first people to share with us the concept of microlearning, even before it was talked about. Hence, we have invited him to share with us his views on the same topic. He is an engineer and a postgraduate in management from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He has also launched a foundation course for entrepreneurs under the banner of 91 University. He has a consulting background and mentors entrepreneurs and nurtures small businesses. First of all, Salil, I'd like to welcome.
Thank you, Priyansha.
Okay. So my first question would be a very basic question for you, but it is very important for us to understand. So the question is, what is microlearning?
Okay. So Priyansha, first of all, thank you for inviting me for this talk. To answer a specific question, I am not sure if microlearning has been formally defined. The way I understand microlearning is, it is about communicating or teaching people with small doses of information rather than through long sessions. I think the bandwidth of people to listen to sessions is reducing. The younger generation is changing. The advent of technology and all these things have made it possible for knowledge to be transferred in smaller bites rather than in large doses. And I think that in general is what microlearning is all about.
All right. So my second question will be a tag to the first one, and that is, how is technology acting as an enabler for microlearning?
Right. So traditionally, knowledge transfer used to happen in classrooms. People would actually go into the class and sit and listen to someone communicating or teaching. With the advent of technology, with the advent of internet, with the advent of smartphones, with the scenario where everyone has a device where the person can see or listen to a video very quickly and effectively, I think it is possible today to pass on small bites of information, as said earlier, and I think therefore the critical enabler for microlearning is technology. Technology in the form of internet, technology in the form of smartphones, technology in the form of the ability to record and communicate small videos to people.
All right. So I'm going to get a little more specific here. So my question would be, how microlearning can be useful for organizations?
So organizations have always focused on learning and development as a very important tool. Traditionally, learning and development in organizations used to happen through 2-day, 3-day sessions. In fact, if you go back some years, there were norms defined for people to attend a certain number of days of classes every year. I think all this is changing. Today, when I see a class being taken in an organization, people are not as attentive. People are busy on laptops. People are busy on smartphones. The distractions are far too many. I think for organizations, it is important to adapt and adopt a completely new way of teaching their employees. I think the microlearning can be a great tool to help them impart knowledge to their employees through the use of bite-sized chunks, through the use of short videos which communicate small pieces of information. So if an organization wants to train its salespeople, rather than doing a 3-day workshop for their salespeople, they can actually provide them small pieces of information which people can see at their own convenience, at their own liberty. And this kind of information is faster to comprehend. People are more attentive. People are, aligned to listening to it. And I think that's the way the organizations will move in the near future.
Right. So, like you said, so I'm gonna relate my next question to the last line you said. So, how huge is, in your opinion, microlearning going to be?
According to me, all learning and development will move towards microlearning. I think it's very difficult to define how huge it will be, but I think the speed of change is always slow. As changes happen, as organizations adapt, microlearning is going to be the future. I think everyone needs to adapt to microlearning very quickly. Everyone needs to understand the changing mode of how people learn. There was a lot of study done on adult learning many years ago. I think those studies have become, irrelevant, if I may use the word, and I think people will need to understand how, people of today will like to learn, and I think micro-learning will play a very important role in that.
All right. So that concludes all the questions I had for today. But if you have any expert comments for us, I'd like to hear.
So I introduced 2 years ago a concept called a pill a day, which is really talking about how organizations can provide small bits of information to the employees through the smartphone on a regular basis. I think in the number of people that we spoke to, one of the biggest challenges was the lack of content. The cost of content creation is still high. But as these things change, as organizations are willing to adapt, more and more organizations will start adopting small tools of this nature to start training their employees. I think there is a huge potential. I'm happy that StratBeans is actually investing time and effort in the whole scenario of micro-learning, and I think there's a huge amount of potential in this space.
All right. Thank you, Salil, for your time. We had a very informative session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.